Hey, Rebels. How's it going?
Hi, everyone. Happy anniversary, Ashley.
Happy anniversary. Oh my God, you guys, one whole year on the air. So excited to be with you.
I can't believe a year has flown by this quickly. We were talking about that beforehand. It doesn't really seem real. But
No.
uh, thank you, everyone who's spent this year with us. Thank you for joining us. I see Jen in the chat already. Hi, Jen.
Yeah. That's so cool. Oh my goodness.
We have like a sort of loose, like sort of hangout kind of show for tonight. We are going to try to get you out of here in an hour, which is our new goal for all things going forward. Um,
Yay.
and there's our
Thanks,
scroll.
Jeff.
Yay! Jeff is our man in the chair tonight, producing as always. And you might have seen in the last couple weeks we've started StreamYard, which we love. I think the video
Oh,
looks
yeah,
great, audio sounds terrific. It's definitely a step up
definitely.
from Zoom.
Hi, Jen.
I see Sarah is here as well. Hey, Sarah.
The fact that we can see Jen and
Yeah.
Sarah in our
Oh,
chat
look at
is an
that.
amazing
Yes.
thing. And look at that guy. There you
Oh, who's him? Um,
Hey.
hey, Spencer. Um, it's gonna be a fun show tonight because we're gonna do a little bit of like looking back, a little bit of looking forward. And let me tell you, it's a week. Do you have anything going on this week, Ashley? Anything important? Anything big? Anything interesting?
I have a lot of work to do. I've been applying to a few conventions and going from there. Um, yeah, it's been crazy and it's been fun, and I am very excited for what the future holds. And yeah, it's been good. Oh yeah, thanks, Sarah. Yeah, we love the new layout with
Yeah.
StreamYard. It's making
I
it
hear a
cool.
difference just even in the talking to you,
Oh
like
yeah.
the way we always have. Yeah, Ashley's being modest. Obviously, she's got work-related things, but the channel is growing in a big way. With Ashley at the lead on this one. Wednesday. So just
Yes.
we're two sleeps away from Daughters of the Galaxy.
Oh my God, you guys. So, my show with my dear friend Jamie Graham and my dear friend Mark Von Olin is going to premiere this Wednesday, June 7th, Daughters of the Galaxy, and we are kicking things off with Princess Leia. So, please join us. Make sure you register your names in StreamYard so we can talk all things Leia, movies, cartoons. Yes, thank you, Sarah. Um, all the amazing
Comics.
stuff, like comics.
Hmm.
Action figures, T-shirts. We want to talk about it all, and of course, our sweet princess Carrie Fisher. All things Carrie, we love
Hmm.
her, and I am so excited to kick things off with the Queen, the Space Princess, the General, um, and I'm
Certainly
just so excited.
the woman we would think is in the one spot, as we
Hmm.
think women of Star Wars.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's gonna be a fun starting point. And this is our it's like a premiere week and it's also like an end point week. We're coming to the end of our first year here on Rebels Revisited. We're launching the new show, Daughters of the Galaxy, and it's sort of the end of our first year, but then the start of the summer of Snips next week.
so
Where we
excited
pivot
about
all of our
that.
programming and the countdown to Ahsoka. Did you see? Okay, so let's do some news real quick. Did you guys see the image of that rando inquisitor like yesterday and today? Like what who is he? That
I
looks like the eighth
know.
brother, right? Like am I
Yeah.
crazy? That looks like the eighth brother?
No, I totally got eighth brother vibes. He's too thin and spindly to be the fifth brother,
Yeah, no, it's
but
not the fifth. Yeah.
I just really worry about, like, is there more Inquisitors? Like, are there more brewing under there? So it's
There
making
should
me
be
nervous.
I mean, there should be a never-ending supply of dark side
Snake Eyes.
users.
Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
it's Snake Eyes. It's secretly Ray Park. No, he's too small, too skinny. This guy looks like the eighth brother. He's definitely got an Inquisitor style lightsaber. You saw the circle,
Yes.
the double
Very
blade, like that's
cool.
pure Inquisitor, right?
Mhm.
And while we don't know if he's an Inquisitor from the time period thereof, there are always dark side users populating the same way Jedi are populating, right? Like people are born with the Force and then you sort of pick your path. And, I don't think it's a 50-50 split. It seems to be way
Oh, yeah.
more light side users than dark side users, but the dark side users make an impact and we remember them. So this guy could just be a dark side user. Maybe he found some Sith teachings. Maybe it's a flashback. Like Yeah, Barris or Mephisto. Actually, Barris came to mind, but that looks like a man's body, and Barris always wears armor that is still female, like figure oriented, like
Right.
even in the Clone Wars and stuff. It would really be the gag of gags if it was her under there,
Oh my
but I don't
goodness.
think it is. I do think Barris Offee is coming, and God help me, like if we don't see
Honestly,
him
like
again, you know.
Captain Phasma's armor, like if you didn't hear her voice, you would think she was a man.
That was
So
intentional. That was an
so
intentional bait and switch, because I was a
yes,
licensee when that happened. Yeah.
which I love.
They did it with Enfys Nest as well, though. I think it was less impactful because we had already lived through the Captain Phasma go at
Right.
that,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Why do I not have even, like, a pronoun for this character?" Um,
Yeah.
and Gwendolyn Christie was rumored to be in the movie, and someone said, "Wouldn't it be cool if she was, like, a dark side leader?" And then that there was, like, a mix of, like, we have names and we have characters, and some didn't line up, and I was like, "That could be Captain Phasma, Gwen Christie." One of my coworkers actually identified it before it was confirmed, and he really knew. He had his money down on it.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
um,
That's awesome.
but
He
we
just
were
won the
mostly in the
lottery.
dark. Yeah. So I think oh, the other thing, could this be a flashback? Could that
That's
be the
another
eighth
thing I was
brother?
just gonna say.
Yeah,
That
during
whole battle and that does that mean we'll get to see Kanan?
I would love that. I wonder when Freddie Prinze said he's never playing him again, it means he just filmed his final thing with, as Kanan,
Mm,
and they're redoing that live action.
yeah.
Because again, I wonder if this is going to be the Forrest Gump going through the history of Star Wars through the lens of Ahsoka, and we're going to see everything again. I would sort of hate that because it's very fan fictiony, but then when it's
Yeah.
happening, I'm going to scream and love it. Like,
I mean, what did
you
we
know,
just live through? Purgles and Zeb Orrelios. So and we both lost our damn minds. So,
yeah,
we all did. So, I feel like everything is going to again, I trust Dave, and I
yeah,
know he's a really great storyteller. He's not heavy-handed with things. Um, so but
yeah.
I wanna know, like,
I know.
I
Well,
was joking with Spencer, and I'm like, "Oh, stress till August." Like, I'm just gonna be obsessing over this.
not just
And
August. Girl, we're 12 weeks away. It's August 31st. So we've got 12 weeks of this before we have to, be ready for the show. Which, by the way, that's the whole point of our programming. So if you got
yes,
nothing to do for 12 weeks except obsess over individual images from Empire magazine,
you are
um,
in the right place.
yeah, which we did see a nice picture too of Ahsoka and Sabine together. The only thing that bothered me, and I loved everything about it,
Mhm.
animation versus live action, the colors are always muted, right? Like the
Right.
colors just don't pop the way they did in animation. And this is why I'm such a proponent of animation.
Mhm.
Obviously, Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse is crushing it right now, proving that animation is bankable.
Oh, I
And
love that movie.
yeah, it's the kind of thing where, um, I wish we had more animation is really
Yeah.
but I'm happy about the Ahsoka show coming, and we will
Yes.
keep you busy for the next 12 weeks with what to watch on Rebels Revisited and
Oh, yeah.
the Thursday watch along with the Clone Wars and some Mando and a whole bunch of good stuff. It'll be a fun time.
Yeah, it's exciting, and also, like, honestly, looking at that photo of Sabine and Ahsoka, I'm like, "Okay, Ahsoka's cloak is not white, it's gray."
Mhm.
And I'm like, "The flight
Yeah.
suit is different for Sabine because she has a lot of black in the flight suit in the show." And I get
Yeah.
it, animation to live action is different, but, it was just very brown, and I'm like, "Okay, everything else I love about this, but the flight suit is really bugging me." But, again, I get
Bef
it.
get
Changes
started.
have to
I
be made.
think it's a
Yeah.
flashback again. So, but I also
Yeah.
wonder, and I go back, I'm gonna make my big swing now. I
Mhm.
think that them leaving to go find Ezra is the end of the first season, not the start of the first season. Um,
So you think
so
we'll
I don't
get
know.
more than 1 season? You're calling it now.
Yes, I think there'll be multiple seasons of Ahsoka. She's too
And
bankable. They're telling us
I
limited
am
series, but I think it's 7 episodes and then another 7 episodes. So
yeah. I
I would
I'm
think.
totally, totally hoping that you are absolutely right in this because obviously I love Ahsoka and I love Rebels and any excuse for more Rebels is just fine by me.
Yeah, it's why we have the show.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our 1 year anniversary celebration. And it is going to be a celebration because we're going to have a giveaway at the end. So
Woo!
everyone be on the lookout. We are going to talk a little bit about what we did throughout the year. We want to ask you
Yeah.
guys what you enjoyed most about what happened during the year. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's upcoming. So I was actually going back chronologically, just sort of like looking at the sort of year that was, right?
We've done a
We
lot.
started. Yeah, it's kinda crazy. It doesn't make sense that it's like it happened like that, and
Yeah,
yet the stack of stuff is a gigantic. We sorta did 2 celebrations because you and
yeah.
I were at Celebration 2022
Mhm.
and meeting people. We were at Boonta Eve, handing out our business cards, telling everyone the show is coming, and that was
Yeah.
really our first public introduction to the VCN group, anyone who was there at the meetup and everyone else that like, "Hey, remember us? We're in the Facebook group sometimes. You might have seen, like, us around. We're doing a show." And
And
everyone's like, "Why are we talking about Rebels?"
yeah, exactly, and I was sticking him in my Rebels art prints and just like,
Yep,
please scan the card, join with the VCN, please watch our
yep.
show." And it was
I was
just
working the booth and
you
handing them
totally
out
were,
with, like, customer
totally were.
service cards sometimes. I was like, "If you look like a Rebels person," I was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm also a YouTuber," which is the last or I have a podcast. That's the last thing you could walk around Star Wars Celebration and accidentally bump into someone, and they'll be like, "Oh, sorry, I'm on my way to my podcast." Like, it's
Yeah.
crazy. There's a
But you
lot of
know
podcasts
what?
in the Star Wars world.
You see someone trying on a Sabine helmet and you're like, "Hey, here's a card. Watch my
Yeah,
show."
it's my
But
Target demo. I brought that
yeah,
helmet just for that.
yeah.
That's a year ago, or a little more than a
Yeah,
year ago, and then the show started right after Obi-Wan Kenobi premiered.
a
So I
year ago
think we had
tomorrow.
3 episodes in,
Yep.
which is crazy. Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like a year.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely Catherine. Yeah.
I was gonna say, Catherine
Thank
said
you,
that, but it didn't
Scooby.
pull up on the
Yeah,
name. So sync your Facebook and your StreamYard as a reminder to everyone. That way we can get your name on there.
yeah.
Hey Scoob, thank you for all your help this week. Scoob is helping
Yes,
us. He's one of our marketing guys, and
absolutely.
you may have seen me and Ashley popping up on your uh our faces on your various social channels this week more than usual because we're doing these little quick videos for Instagram, for Facebook, Twitter, etc. And we're like
Yeah.
recording, come watch our show. Scoob is helping with all of that stuff. So
Doing a
we're having a really
phenomenal
fun
job.
time.
Yeah, oh my god, so much fun, even though it's really, really cold out for this time of year and
I did mine inside. I was like, what are you
oh,
doing leaving your house?
it's on my back porch, but, like, honestly, I don't have any of my art up at the moment. I'm about to repaint these walls, so it's
Mhm.
and big
we
things
need
are
to
happening.
we need to
Um,
clean and redecorate.
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
definitely, and just completely rebuild everything, but I am really, really excited. Yes. S stalking
oh yeah,
people with Rebels Prince in hand. Oh, thank you so
I
much.
will
I
say
appreciate you, Dave.
of all the things I did this year, my one piece of FOMO is missing out on ICCC,
I know.
especially
Oh my
because,
god.
like, everyone said they had such a great time, and everyone was
Yeah,
super nice, and all of our people were there, so, it just didn't work out. I couldn't get away that weekend, but next time when
same.
there's something like that, I'm gonna just make it happen.
Oh, yeah, we're going for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Vanessa being so kind. Vanessa Marshall, absolutely love her.
yeah,
Um,
she's
putting
terrific.
our cards on the table. That was really sweet of you, and we appreciate you. Um, it was so exciting to just see all the photos and see everybody's, photo ops with the characters and what you got signed. Um, seriously, big FOMO, but we love you guys and we thank you for going so we can live vicariously through you. It's
Exactly.
I'm like, "Oh, so good. I love this." Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna have another one of those soon because I think that event was a success, and so the 4 or 5 of them will travel again together to things. It certainly seems like things
Rhode
are opening
Island.
up.
Please,
Yeah,
Rhode
yeah.
Island.
We got everyone, conjure Rhode Island, use the force as needed. 'Cause so actually, we don't have to stay in a particular category or chronologically, but Rhode Island Comic Con was a highlight of our year, for
Oh,
Rebels
yeah.
Revisited. And it
Big
almost
time.
makes me think like when we have something like that coming up, we should have like we have the VCN meetup and everything. We should have recorded something live while we were there, like a quick
Oh, yeah.
kind of thing. But we got to do some really cool stuff, meet some awesome people. Top of the list there for me was Keone Young,
Oh,
who
he was
plays
so
Commander
fun.
Sato. Yeah,
So
super nice.
fun. And
That was a blast.
when he signed your poster, it was sign here
He's
next to Hera. Right on, Hera. He's just absolutely amazing. I love that
uh,
man, and the fact that
yeah,
he's so proud of the character was like really, really cool.
and he has quite the IMDb list. So for everyone who doesn't know
Another
Keone
one was
Young's work,
Dante Basco.
oh yeah, I couldn't even get to him, and
Yeah.
that was a miss. So if he comes back, he'll be on my list. There's a few people that are sort of not as well known for Rebels, but are in Rebels. There's always a group of those, right? Jason Isaacs is probably the best example of that, right? Like he's best known for Harry Potter and a bunch of other stuff, and he is also in Rebels. But there are some others
Yes.
that I'm always on the bubble of like, do I add them to the poster? And now I'm just doing it. I was like, fill the poster. Everyone's faces are covered. Like I've got Keone Young's autograph all over Hera's face because like he didn't understand sign above versus on top of. Um, by the way, he's terrific. So no shade to Keone. He signed my poster. It was super delightful.
Love
We
him.
stayed and talked to him for a while. And Vanessa won't be offended by it. Uh, but yeah, we got to. And speaking of Vanessa, oh yeah,
Yes.
Keone was awesome. Yeah. Vanessa was our most recent interview that we did. One of the things we wanted to do on this channel was bring on some guests, including people who worked on Star Wars Rebels. And we had 3 guests in the calendar year in the prior year, which was not a lot. We started very late in the game, and we're going to be expanding that. And some will be happening during the summer of Snips. But we had 3 really amazing guests with Taylor Gray, who plays obviously Ezra, Philip Anthony Rodriguez, who is the
Love
fifth
him.
brother,
Yeah.
fantastic guy. Our first interview, and he
Yeah.
we went long over too. I was worried that I was like we were keeping him too long, and he had stories,
Oh,
so
yeah.
we
He
we
set
just
the
kept
bar.
going. Yeah, he's good people.
Yeah.
And then Vanessa Marshall, who is our most recent guest, who is out on the circuit like crazy right now.
Love
With all
her.
of her, she has the charity events coming up. Like she's busy. So if you're looking to meet Vanessa Marshall, like just pay attention to her Instagram. She is somewhere now.
Absolutely. And gamer cons with stuff with Metal Gear Solid.
Yep.
She's doing amazing things with that and live streaming her gaming. Like the girl can do it all. Like
Oh yeah.
honestly. So I really hope she
Um,
comes to Rhode Island. I
and
hope
her
they all do.
Twitch channel is going to be up and running soon. So once
Very
we get
soon.
info on that, we'll make sure we share it.
Right.
Yeah, I thought Taylor, Philip, and Vanessa all brought really interesting stories. Got
Yeah.
some great behind the scenes stuff. Got to hear a little bit about their work outside of Star Wars. Because once you're in the Star Wars, that's all anyone wants to talk about, right?
Right.
Regardless of what you've done, you could
Yeah.
be leading multi-million-dollar blockbusters elsewhere, whatever. It's like, tell me about that one episode of Star Wars you did. You know.
Exactly. I mean, my gosh. Um it's just phenomenal that we have the opportunity to talk to these amazing voice actors and just well known and well loved in the Star Wars community, but also like the gaming community and the voiceover community. And Taylor's doing big things right now. He's acting in a movie
Mhm.
and
Are you
just
watching his Instagram right now? He's
oh my
blonde.
god, he's
Yeah.
blonde. Like we
Well,
we saw the last bit of Taylor with dark
I
hair, like
know. He was covered in some fake blood too, because at first I saw
and
the hair
tattoos.
at the ICCC or whatever, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
he must have a role happening." And then I started seeing the behind the scenes stuff coming through, and it looks like he's got some intense stuff happening. So, yeah,
Yeah, it's
interesting.
pretty crazy. And I'm excited for him. I'm excited for Phil and any of his, upcoming work. I know he's very busy as well.
Mhm.
Um,
He's on
just
TV right now on some network show that he was saying just got picked up for like the back nine or whatever it was. So, um,
yes.
yeah, so he's doing really well. And like I said, Vanessa's the busiest woman on the planet. Like she's always got something brewing. And actually, one of the things we're up against is people's schedules. So we do have
Yeah.
some other guests that are going to be coming within the next, we'll say, several months, trying to figure out when we can bring some additional actors from the show onto the show, as
Yeah.
well as some other Star Wars fandom people that we're friends with, like other
Yeah.
hosts from other shows, other people from other networks fully. So if you know someone that you think would be an interesting fit to come on and
Yeah.
talk about Rebels, maybe you follow their fan site or they have another podcast or anything like that. Let us know because our dance card is starting to fill up. Oh yeah, we have competing Lothcats over here.
Wait,
um,
over there. Ahsoka knocked
yep,
one over, but yeah.
yep.
She
Doo-doo.
likes to tackle my Loth cats. She's like, I can't stand the competition. So
Yeah, my cats attack everything. It's a little ridiculous. So,
yeah.
yeah, so we're gonna have a lot of guests visiting us over
Mhm.
now that we've sort of gotten into the groove of interviewing and having people come on to the show, other creators, people you guys probably know just from being in the Facebook group and everything.
Yeah.
That's one of the things we really want to do more of in 2023 because we've already watched all of season one,
Mhm.
um, almost all of season three, and by the time we finish the summer of Snips, we're gonna bang our way through most of season two. So
Right.
it's which is crazy how much of Rebels we've already watched, and we're like a year in.
Exactly, and, it's also cool to have these guests on because we get to hear it from a different perspective. We'll get to do watch-alongs with people, hear what Rebels meant to them, and, I just love the other perspective on things because we already know how Mark and I feel about everything Rebels, like, you know what we mean and what we love about it and what we hate about it, which is very little, but, um, but it'll be interesting to get more fresh viewpoints and learn more about, like, their experiences and their loves and tribulations with Rebels. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
exciting.
it's a piece of the fandom that started off really slow. I always say Rebels is a slow burn, the show itself, and also the love for Rebels. And now it shines really bright, right? I've seen more memes recently about Ahsoka being a secret fifth season of Rebels
Yeah.
recently
The
than I did
Scooby
even when they
Doo
first
one.
announced it. Yeah, the one pulling off the mask. There's been a lot of that kind of thing. And I actually
Yeah.
don't know if it's really going to go that deep, if it's really going to be that. I think she has her own adventure carved out, and we're going to see Hera, we're going to see Sabine. I don't think they're going to be in every episode or like leading the story necessarily, but I do think
Right.
it's going to be great to see them, and I'm excited to see where they go. And I want to find Ezra. Where's Ezra? Like,
Yeah.
I need a Where's Ezra T-shirt.
We need to make one for the group.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, we have merch.
Yes. Oh
So
my
uh,
goodness.
the VCN has a good chunk of merch, and that was one of the cool things that happened over the past year. So thank you, Jeff, for putting the link at the bottom. T Public, the Virtual Cantina group. And actually right now I should mention they've got the baseball jerseys on sale for like a dark side, a light side. They've got a whole array of T-shirts. I have a few of them. I know I bought the hockey jersey, which now that it's 1,000 degrees in New York is not helpful. But
Oh
when
yeah.
it comes back around to winter, it was nice. Um,
Yes.
and then we have numerous Rebels Revisited T-shirts, which neither of us are wearing tonight because I'm wearing the official mural shirt.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love that shirt.
yeah. And
And
then
mine oh,
okay,
sorry. Mine is from, Imperial March Co. I had the tie-dye one on previously, and this one,
that was
because I'm a
cool.
klutz, I bought the black one, so
We have a new shirt that was just announced. There's a Pride collection for
Yes.
VCN, and there's a Rebels Revisited rainbow design for Pride Month. Oh yeah, so happy Pride Month, everyone! This is our
Yeah, definitely.
first show of the month. We don't have anything Pride specific planned. I think the joke from what was it? It's Life Day that Anthony Daniels makes fun of, and is like, "What is that, Wookiee Pride or something like that?" One of those is actually one of the shirts. That's part of the Pride collection. For VCN. I was like, "That's perfect."
Yeah, that
Um,
really nails it.
and,
But
and
yeah,
yeah, we
as we're a show that, puts, inclusivity and pride and love for the community first and foremost, and we are so glad to be, representing Pride Month and, the LGBTQIA plus community um, here in the virtual cantina. Like honestly, that's big, and I love that. So
Yeah, same. And I like that the letters keep growing. It needs to be as inclusive as possible. And whatever your letters are, everyone's
mhm.
welcome here. Um, and oh, thank you, Catherine. Sarah, I saw
Yay,
you
thanks, Sarah.
bought Sarah and her husband bought VC shirts. Both the Rebels and VC t-shirts. Thank you.
Thank
Um,
you.
the new Pride stuff, I think, just went up a day or so ago. I've got
Mhm.
the original Rebels Revisited designs in orange and blue and teal, and then then they put up the Corky Kreese, the One True Mandalore shirt, basically just for me. And I've got that in teal as well. So
But
you've
you
got
know
quite the
what?
array.
When it happens, you came out on top. You
Yeah,
you were ahead of
whatever
the
happens,
game.
I have a true Mandalore shirt. Um, which that sort of this is a little bit earlier than we were expecting, but we are going to do a giveaway. We did this once before, and I forget what the reason was. I think it might have been Christmas, but we're going to do a giveaway for our 1 year anniversary of a Rebels Revisited T-shirt.
Yeah,
So at the end of the show, we're gonna pick someone randomly from the comments.
right.
We'll announce it on the page tomorrow. And we'll send you we'll DM you, or we'll have Spencer or one of us DM you, and get your address. And you can pick something from the VCN collection. You just have to send us your address and your size, and then if you like to, the last 4 digits of your social security number and your mother's maiden name for no reason. So not those. Just your
Please
just
don't
your
do that.
address is fine. Yeah. and I'll place the order and send it to you. We're gonna
Yeah.
we'll wait for a sale, but we'll let you know when it's coming because they do 40% off on TeePublic. Like I want to say every month or so.
Yeah, it's pretty frequent, which is the
Yeah,
perfect time for you to buy VCN merch in that group.
yeah.
Like, it just
We need
yeah,
more
and it's still
T-shirts for
fun.
summer. So
Yeah,
I'm out of. I'm
exactly.
only my stack of T-shirts is only like this big now. So I need. Actually, I need to do a cleaning of some sort. So
Oh, man, I have the things that I love. It's T-shirts and band sneakers, so my collection's quite extensive, but
When I
yeah.
do my laundry, I have to separate my T-shirts into Star Wars, concert, and other related items, and like work shirts, and that's it.
yep, exactly. I have we have cubes for clothes and not just drawers and stuff. And I do have one dedicated cube all Star Wars. So which I've already
Nice.
put like a blanket together of other T-shirts that I don't wear anymore. So things have already been recycled. It's a little ridiculous, but you got to replace, and there's new content all the time. Like this
Oh my
is,
god.
I want to say this is new. It's not really. Like this has been out for a while. The shirt is new, but like that the Rebels mural's been out since I guess
That
2018.
shirt is like the holy grail of Celebration 2023, I'm telling
I
you,
still can't
like
believe if it sold out so quickly. It's crazy.
like, you know, 2019, I was able to get, like, a Celebration, Rebels mural shirt, like, I was able to get it after the show when all the merch went online too, so
Yep.
because they ran out of mediums and they only had a large, so I bought a large at the show, and then I bought the medium online, and I was fine. But, like, this no chance, it was just snapped up, and everybody saw that mural at
Yep.
Celebration.
And this shows how much Rebels has grown in the past year. All the more
Yes.
reason why, um, when we started this show, before we started the show, I was like, it can feel a little niche. Um, but I knew there was going to be related or relatable content. No idea it was going to take off the way it did. Like I couldn't have predicted the mural being there, or the fact that it was going to be what is potentially the opening scene of Ahsoka, or the one image they showed in, I guess it was Empire Magazine or EW, however many months ago,
Empire,
of
yeah.
Sabine standing there, which is crazy. So looks like Lucasfilm is really believing in this slice of the content, which is great because we love it. I know there are a lot of other fans who do, and just because it
Yeah,
was a slow burn and merch didn't necessarily work the last time doesn't mean that it isn't viable on a go forward. It was a
exactly.
weird time. I remind people all the time in 2014 there were still lots of people who were upset that Disney bought that George Lucas sold the company to
Oh,
Disney,
yeah,
and they were
yeah,
worried about what Disney was going to do with it. And the first thing coming out of Disney was this cartoon. And it was on Disney XD, and a lot of longtime fans just didn't watch. And so
right.
um it got overlooked and overshadowed and sort of dismissed. But they just kept chugging along. Rebels refused to give up. It's a little bit like me. Like I don't know about
Yes.
you, Ashley, but I'm like a
Oh,
stubborn
totally.
bitch, right? So
Absolutely.
I like
I'm a
they were like,
Taurus.
okay,
It's all about stubborn bitches.
yeah, and I'm just like relentless. So I was like, we're gonna get this done. Rebels did the same thing. They were like, this isn't working. Add Grand Moff Tarkin. Oh wait, this isn't working. Bring in Ahsoka. Throw in Vader. You know what? Let's have more Inquisitors. Here comes
But
Grand Admiral Thrawn. Like,
not just for fan service. It was done
right?
incredibly smart, made
Yeah.
sense to the story. Everything that, they did from OT to new, it's completely done in intelligent ways. It's not just cameos for cameo's sakes. I know many
Yep.
people had problems with that with Mandalorian season 3, but incredibly well done. So if you're still one of those people who, shame on you, are like, "Oh, I don't watch animated Star Wars," I don't wanna hear it anymore, okay?
Yeah. There's
You're
no
missing
excuse.
out on the best storytelling in Star Wars,
I
and
agree.
you just look lame. So do it.
Well,
Watch the show.
it's interesting that there's a little bit of a Venn diagram of people who love, love, love Rogue One, and then would never
Yeah,
think to watch Rebels. And Rogue One is probably more connected to Rebels than any
the
other individual
precursor.
movie in the
Yeah.
series. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, Saw Gerrera has
Saw.
a huge role. Mon Mothma has a huge role.
Yeah.
And they have episodes that feel
Hera
like
and
they're leading
Chopper
right
make
to.
cameos.
Um, it's
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, and Dave's talking about Thrawn. Like so many people didn't know in the EU. Like I had read the original Heir to the Empire so long ago, but like it didn't resonate with. I shouldn't say that. I don't want to say it didn't resonate with me. It didn't leave. I didn't hold on to it the way that I did hold on to like the Ewoks when I was a kid, right? Like I liked
Mhm.
it. It's a good book, and that was all it meant to me. Like other people, it was like the EU was like their thing, right? But there is
Yeah.
a whole other group of very casual Star Wars fans. We forget that this fandom is like a very big bell curve, right? With a lot of people who just watch the movies and they're like, what's a Thrawn? And so when he popped up in Rebels, hardcore fans were like, oh, wow, like that's our guy. Like, what is he doing over here? He's in the wrong time period. He's in a cartoon. What's happening here?
Yeah.
And there was probably some nerves about like, what are they going to do with him? I think they did a good job with him ultimately in
Oh,
Rebels.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And now that they have, Timothy Zahn, who created Thrawn, as a consultant, like,
Yeah.
not just, "Oh, slap an EP on him and just call it a day because we use his stuff." The amount of care and consideration that goes into bringing Thrawn into live action and doing honor and justice to the source material, I think it's gonna be huge, and I'm
Yeah.
so excited for it, and,
And
Lars
it's Lars.
Mikkelsen, I
It's
called
Lars.
it! Hello! I've
I love
never
being
been
wrong. I enjoy being wrong. I'm glad I was wrong. I'm so happy that it's Lars. Yeah.
And he looks so good. I don't know if any of you were able to catch any of the, in-house trailers that dropped, before they were taken down by Lucasfilm and Disney. Um, but yeah, just incredible, incredible. Even with the makeup and the red contacts, he looks so good, and I can't wait to hear him talk. I
Yeah.
really can't. It's gonna
I'm
bring
surprised they
chills.
didn't give us like a little bit of his voice, but I get that they can't give away everything. So,
Oh, yeah. I'm
um,
perfectly fine with it as it is because and then they get to see the face later. So that's more than enough for me, and,
yeah.
we've gotten a lot of cool merch, like, leading up to Ahsoka. So, um, Ezra Bridger's second lightsaber dropped on Shop
Mhm.
Disney. It's still available for pre-order. It will be shipping the first weekend in July. Um, that was a must get. It's not quite available on the East Coast in, Batu East, but it is available on the West Coast, so, all you West Coast people, Jeff, probably have gotten to see it in person, and I am living vicariously through you. Um, it
I
looks
actually
really
didn't
cool.
spend much time in Doc Ondars the last time I was on Batu,
Oh,
so I
really?
didn't get a good look at it yet. But
Oh, cool.
from the pictures, it's got that one design flaw that I really don't like, which is the you have to switch out the emitter end.
Yeah,
Or like
same
the
thing that
display
the
model
way I
looks
have
amazing, but if you want to have a saber blade in it, you got to make it look weird and clunky and chunky, and I don't like
Hmm.
that. So that's one thing I discourages me from some of those sabers is having to alter the true silhouette.
right, and
So
I
Yeah.
think that's what Hasbro does smarter with Leia's saber than, the Galaxy's Edge, legacy sabers. Um, yeah, so I was kind of hoping they would do that with this, but you know how they work. So, but any Rebels merchandise, honestly, I'm a sucker for. I have the Calicori from the parks. I wish I'd gotten the, Temple Guard mask and sabers. Like, honestly, I don't know what I was thinking not getting those before they were discontinued, which is probably why I jumped on the Syndulla family Calicori as fast as I did because I was like, I'm not missing this. And, yeah, there's been an uptick in Rebels merch, as you
Oh
can
yeah.
see Mark shirt, and the official stuff is starting to creep out slowly.
There are more
So,
pins than I expected for celebration.
yeah.
Um, yeah, we're starting to see it. And I hope it continues because my other concern is that they'll start swapping from animated to live action. Yeah, I mean, I got my helmet out for Sabine, which is very exciting. But
Yeah.
of course, everyone's going to ask for the live action helmet next. And
Hmm.
and I think there's a question, like a larger question of like for all licensees, if you were going to do something Sabine right now, would you use Rebels, any of the seasons of Rebels, or would you wait for the Ahsoka show? And I think like a Black Series figure or anything like that will probably likely come from Ahsoka. So that I think is the big struggle, right? Because I love we all
Right.
love the character Sabine. Do you want the animated one or do you want the live action one? And I don't know what the answer is yet because I haven't seen the live action show. But I think that that's always a switch, right?
And I think that's where a lot of the major manufacturers, like Hot Toys, comes into
Hmm.
effect because they did, Ahsoka and Anakin and Obi-Wan Clone Wars versions,
Yep.
like animated Clone Wars characters, but they put like a live action spin on them with their, Clone Wars cartoon costumes,
Yep.
and that was really kinda neat. Rex too, that
Those were
was
neat. I
awesome.
saw those. Yeah.
I have them all, and I have Obi-Wan on pre-order, and they're phenomenal figures, really phenomenal figures, and I wonder if they're gonna do that with Rebels or if they're gonna use the ones that are in Ahsoka.
I would
So,
assume they're gonna do if they've already done some Clone Wars, they'll probably move to Ahsoka next.
yeah.
But that's a larger
But
question of
they
like, you
but
know,
they did it with Mandalorian, so they have the Ahsoka from The Mandalorian, and they also have the Ahsoka from Clone Wars Season 7, and they both look phenomenal in their own
yeah,
ways, like
and very
with
different.
Man
Yeah.
yeah, okay, Mando is pure Rosario, it looks amazing, it's so good,
Yeah.
and the other one is it's got, like, hints of possible Rosario, but not quite, still
Yeah.
ambient enough.
Well,
Yes,
it
thank
feels
you,
like Clone
Scooby.
Wars. It feels I agree with you, Scoob.
Yeah,
Yeah, Clone Wars season 7 is funny because there are definitely moments where it's like, "Oh, this looks straight out of Revenge of the Sith." I was like,
yeah,
That's Hayden looking at me in that
yeah,
cartoon," right? And we watched some of this on the Thursday watch
yeah,
along. Those final episodes, one, it looks like a movie, but you can see like the Haydenisms in Anakin's face.
yeah,
Less so with like the Ewan. I mean, Ewan Obi-Wan is I feel like less distinct somehow, even though we kind of know it's him.
yeah,
Obviously, the voice actors are still James Arnold Taylor and Matt Lanter, who are terrific,
yes,
and they're just excellent in that show. But yeah, even Ahsoka, they do start. You could see a little Rosario sort of creeping in just a tiny bit. We got to start moving these characters into that direction.
yeah.
I love Clone Wars season 7. It's gorgeous. That's actually something Spencer would fight Scoob on this. I think Spencer would say that Clone Wars season 7, or at least the final 4 episodes, always ranks it up against Rebels. Which look, I'm willing to have that fight all day. Like that's a great fight
Mhm.
to have, right? Like we
Yeah,
have some excellent content coming out of the Disney era. However, people felt about the new trilogy or the standalone films, like there's kind of something for everyone,
right.
which is what I like about it. And in fact, we got to experience a lot of it together on this channel in the past year. I think the past year has been phenomenal. It started with Obi-Wan. We got a great season of The Bad Batch. I thought season 2 was way better than season 1, which
I
I've
am
talked
so
about
glad that
numerous
redeemed it for
times.
you.
Yes.
Mark was
I
redeemed
not
in The
just
Bad
redeemed it, I'm,
Batch.
like, counting down to season 3 now. I was like, "When is it?" Like, I'm excited
Ugh.
about what season 3 could be. Sad that it's the final season,
Okay, I'm
but, like,
still talking to my therapist about what happened in the final episode, okay? I'm not even kidding you, like, I'm not okay.
it's they did give us, like, a emotional, devastating gut punches, but that's how Star Wars is, right? Like, you kinda know it's coming, and you just have to place your bets onto who they're gonna kill in this finale. I'm not sure that any of the Bad Batch are gonna make it out alive now, because if they're saying that this is it, season 3, and they're gonna end it, I wouldn't
Yeah,
be surprised if, like, no one made it out alive except Omega. And that would be really sad, but
yeah.
I get it. I get it. I just have to you have to give yourself a lot of lead time and a lot of space to absorb all that. But I thought Bad Batch delivered in a way that was truly unexpected. Like I
Totally.
was hoping for certain things in Obi-Wan that I think Obi-Wan delivered on, and other things that I didn't think they delivered on, but I thought were cool. Like we got way more Leia out of Obi-Wan than I ever expected.
And
So that
Vivian
was
Lyra
awesome.
Blair
Yeah.
just
She's great. Yeah.
she's heading towards big things. Like, she's in The
Yeah.
Boogeyman right now, which is a
Oh,
crazy
I didn't know that.
Stephen King. Yeah, she's in the movie based on Stephen King's
It's
short
awesome.
story, um, with, David Dastmalchian, who is phenomenal. I
Yeah.
love him. Um, but
And
yeah, she's
Spot
doing
and
big
everyone
things.
else. Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing really, really big things. Grant Feely is now signing for Tops. He played young
Oh,
Luke.
that's
So,
exciting.
people have been pulling him on the Obi-Wan set and with a Brew Crew, and I love
The
it.
br
So, yeah.
That's what Obi-Wan gave me more than anything, aside from seeing some live action Inquisitors, which I thought was cool, and the sort of stealing of the half mask thing, the
Yeah.
homage to Rebels, like, that I liked it even though it was copying the homework, I'll allow it. Um, I think the redemption of Aunt Beru and getting to see Bonnie Piez, like, flex her muscles both as an actor and as sort of a badass stunt woman on screen,
Oh my god. Oh
and
my god.
and I've talked about this at nauseum on various shows, but go check out the Nexium documentary and see how Bonnie Piez escaped that cult and helped bring it down.
Queen.
She really is like a
Queen.
bad bitch in real life. Like
Yeah.
she's amazing, and we got to meet her. We all got
Yes.
to meet her at Rhode Island. All roads lead back to Rhode Island, by the way. So
We will
anyone
talk
who's
about that till we die, okay? So
in all seriousness,
yeah.
anyone who's tuning in right now, Rhode Island is not an expensive show. I want to say the 3-day tickets are less than $100, and the hotels are actually really affordable in the
And
area.
they're
And if you're on the East
all around the
Coast,
convention center.
yeah, and the convention center on the Amtrak. The Amtrak is a 5-minute walk to the convention center. Um, it is really, you guys. Um, Rhode Island is a very accessible convention, and there's also a lot of
Mhm.
actors of all levels. We'll say from A-list to very niche. So all the way across the ladder of like what you're into. Animated
Yeah.
voice actors, anime voice actors, video game voice actors,
Wrestlers.
people uh, right, exactly. WWE wrestlers, people who used to be on TV 40 years ago, people who are on TV right now, people who are in
Yeah.
movies, people who were in movies, comic book artists. Like a lot of vendors. They take up 2 whole spaces in the convention center. It's actually connected to, like, the hockey rink
The
convention center,
convention
like, it's so
center
big.
and the
So,
Dunkin' Donuts Center. Well, it used to
yeah,
be the Dunkin' Donuts, now
the
it's the
dunk.
Amica
Yeah.
Insurance. Yeah.
I will always call it
Forever
the
the Dunk.
dunk.
I'm sorry.
So forever the dunk.
Yeah.
But that show is spectacular, and it will also probably be the largest singular VCN meetup outside of a celebration, unless something
Right.
crazy happens at San Diego and turns out hundreds of people are secretly there. But I really highly recommend any of you who are in the East Coast general vicinity to try to find your way to Rhode Island, to come meet with all of us and hang out and check out all the Star Wars guests. We had a grand old time just running around and even meeting non-Star Wars people. We met Alicia Silverstone and Breckin Meyer and just a ton
Jason
of awesome
Lee.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my god, so much fun. Got a
good
photo op
times.
with Zachary Levi with my cousin Charlie, and he is
Mhm.
really, really tall, so it was just like, "Oh,
Super
hey."
tall. Never worked out a day in his life for that Shazam movie. Like that's all the muscles are in that suit. So
Oh, it's okay by me. He's still very pretty to look at, so
he is. It just cracks me up because, like, you hear about every other actor, like, getting in shape for the superhero movies, and his is all suit. It's so funny. I
yeah.
mean, he's still in good shape because he's an actor, but, like, everyone else talks about their intense diet and this incredible training and all this stuff, and I don't know if the man put on 5 pounds. Like, it's, hilarious to me, to see him, and I was like, "You look exactly like you did on Chuck." Like, also didn't age a day, so he might just be a
Oh, yeah.
vampire. Who knows? I don't know. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
and it was really cool to have, like, the new kids from Star Wars there, like Antonio
yeah.
Vina, Grant Feely, Vivian Lyra not Vivian Lyra Bear, she was not there, I'm sorry.
Sure
But
the
just
boys were. Yeah.
yeah, the boys were, and they were really, really awesome and adorable, and Antonio came out to party with us at, the meetup, and he
Mhm.
was great, and I wish him success too. Um, we've done, like, amazing things, this
It's been
year,
a really
and
fun
just
year. Yeah,
yeah,
so live action wise, I mean by that I mean like meeting up. We got to hang out at San Diego Comic Con. We were at Celebration. We went to Rhode Island Comic Con, New York Comic Con. We do all the cons, you guys. And
yeah.
I know that there's also a lot of activity on the Batu east and west side. I know Jeff is based in basically LA, so he's there pretty
Yeah, and
frequently.
Jamie's in the Galaxy's Edge Discord, and she does the
Mhm.
lightsaber meetups down there in Batu East. Dank Ferrick! Yes, and, so if you guys are anywhere down in each of the coasts and you see Jeff or Jamie, just say hi.
And you'll get to you've probably seen Jamie. She's hosted twice, I think, on the Rebels Revisited show.
Yeah,
On first back in March for our women's the Women of Star Wars sort of appreciation event, which has now that's what spun off the show. That was our secret backdoor pilot.
yeah,
And then she was the substitute teacher 1 week for me when I was traveling. But you guys will get to learn a lot more about Jamie over the next upcoming several weeks and months with the Daughters of the Galaxy, which is going to
yeah,
be so much fun.
yeah. As a mom and as someone who loves Star Wars and especially Rebels as much as we do, it is so great to have her on board. That's another big thing that's happened this year. Um, Becoming friends with Jamie on Instagram and then meeting her in person in October when I went down to Epcot for the day, and then just bringing her into the fold to fill in, and now, like, see, these things happen, you guys. So when you say, like, "Anybody got any show ideas?" This is what happens. This is what you
Mhm.
mean. You never know. So if you have any ideas, please speak up, talk to
Yep.
Spencer, Dave, Jeff,
Only
any
if you're
one of us,
willing to
Mark.
only if you're willing to do it.
But if you're willing
Um,
to commit, yeah, it's amazing. And like I said, here we are, 1 year later, doing
yeah,
phenomenal things and keeping the love of Rebels alive. So
exactly. Keeping the home fires burning as they were. Just, Jeff, if you can put Spencer's quote up, I think that
yeah,
would be
oh my
really
God,
funny.
I just saw it.
Um, yeah, we're excited for more of this too because now in my new role of so congrats to Jamie, by the way. Thank you for volunteering. Um, but in all seriousness, she's very
Yeah,
excited about the show, and I can't
I
wait
was
to
so
hear what you
excited.
guys have planned for Wednesday. I'm trying to stay arm's distance away where the girls have their own file that they're putting all their stuff together. Um, and yeah, email down there if you're interested in doing a show. In my new role of programming director, I am trying to figure out how we line up everything, both from all of the shows across the network and how we all tie together across the theme, but also looking for some new content to fill your evenings. We've got your Mondays covered with Rebels Revisited. The Daughters of the Galaxy will be every other Wednesday, the first and third Wednesday of every month.
Right,
Um, and then we've got the Thursday night watch along, which of course is the flagship show. And then on on Sundays, it alternates between the Unifying Force or the Jedi Archive. So if you're really interested in literature and comics, Bryce and the boys have you covered. And then Unifying Force is a lot of philosophical discussion with Dave and Geo and Kat. That those are very different types of shows across the network.
exactly.
And there's also room for a lot of other stuff too, right? Like I think there's room for something Clone Wars. I think there's room for video gaming. So if anyone has ideas about a show they'd like to do, send it our way and we'll start chatting about it. There's nothing you don't have to commit, by the way.
Yeah,
We like I was joking with I was with Ashley. She could have said no,
yeah,
but didn't want to because yes, your show here. So I can't
yeah.
promise that you'll be on air right away. But if you have a good idea, we definitely like to talk to you about it.
Like, honestly, like, as nervous as I was, there was no way I was going to say no because, like, Rebels means as much to me, and any excuse to talk about something you love and something that you're, like, incredibly knowledgeable about and share it with other people and just kinda get the word out there, and,
Mhm.
that's me all day. I love teaching people about things, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Do I have to watch all this?" "No, you can't say no." So,
Yeah, in all seriousness, every time we've volunteered for something,
that
ooh,
would be
costuming would be
amazing.
fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. We've always really weighed our options and I remember talking about it at length like before we I was talking about Rebels Revisited with Spencer in November and we premiered in June. So there was 5 months of laying the groundwork and thinking about what the show could be and when it should come out and who a co-host should be and all of those thoughts. It wasn't just like I had an idea and then the next week here's the Zoom link. We did a lot of prep and a lot of planning. And Ashley, I talked ahead of time about what do we want the show to be. So
Right.
we had like I wouldn't say we have like a proper mission statement, but like keeping Rebels alive, which by the way, Lucas is doing for us now. I really
Love
thought
it.
that was going to be our whole like we would have to fight, and instead we're overwhelmed by the
They're like,
quantity
"Okay,
of rebels.
here,
Yeah,
have it
yeah,
all." And we're just like, "Yes, please."
yeah. I was like, please don't let me be forgotten. Because I really had a panic attack at one point. I was like, Resistance was so quickly discarded and forgotten. And I was like, that could be Rebels. Because I remember I was scrolling through Disney Plus one day and they had just added something. And I was scrolling. And you know how they have like an animation bar and they have a this
Yeah,
and they have a that? I guess you can only get so many boxes across. And I think series and specials is like all TV. And then
yeah.
animation was a separate one and series and specials ran out of boxes and Rebels wasn't in there or is all the way at the end and I was like, "Not my Rebels." Like I really had like that. I was like, it's being forgotten. It was very
Yeah.
that and I was like, I don't want when there's 15 other shows for, us to lose this.
So when I went to Anaheim for Celebration, last year, we went to Downtown Disney, and they had the building wall around the edge of the courtyard when you walk in through, near the hotels, and I literally took a
Mhm.
video. They have every single Star Wars property, but they don't have a poster of Rebels on that wall,
Mm,
and I'm like, "What the hell?" Like, I was
yeah.
panicking. absolutely panicking. And I was like, Mark and I are about to do our show. What are they doing? Like Disney is trying to erase it. And Resistance wasn't on there either. So I was just like, oh my God, oh my God,
Yep.
oh my God, this is terrible. And
Having Rebels and Resistance in the
I
same
had to
sentence
sit
is
down.
always
I had to
scary.
sit down on a bench and be like, "Oh my god, like our show is gonna be like in the tank because nobody can do a watch along because it's not on Disney Plus." And like sounding like a lunatic, but this is how my feelings were when I saw it, and so glad they didn't. So glad.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave
I
Filoni.
we actually got quite the opposite. So despite our concerns, like
Yes,
a
I
year
was
ago,
pissed, Spencer. I was totally pissed. Oh my god. Yeah.
yeah, from where we started to where we landed. I mean, and think about the shows they churned out, right? So Obi-Wan, Bad Batch, Andor, they all had
Tales of
big
the
Rebels.
Jedi.
Tales of the Jedi,
Yeah.
all of them had big Rebels connections, bigger than we expected. So we did a whole countdown to Andor. You guys remember the August and then some because it went for like longer than we had thought, right? All through August and into September, getting ready for Andor. And I was like, oh, we're gonna watch some Saw Gerrera and some Mon Mothma, and then we get to Andor, and it just felt like the start of the rebellion, even though it wasn't like Easter eggy, where it was like, oh, there's Kanan hanging out, like in the first episode of Bad Batch season one,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Oh,
you know,
loving
like
it.
it wasn't quite as obvious as that, if it was more on the thematic side. Like Andor feels so much like Rebels. Like the struggle is real, was truly how it felt. And I thought Andor
Yeah.
was also just like incredibly well done. The one way out thing is still one of the greatest moments in Star Wars, I think. I think as we start thinking about, I don't really like listicles in that really rank things and force you to choose, but I love a listicle. But like,
Oh yeah.
one way out is going to be one of those things where we think about moments in Star Wars 20 years from now, we're still going to be talking about.
Absolutely. It's the new May the Force be with you. It's
Yeah.
the new, um, you
That and
know
This Is the Way. It's up there.
yeah,
Like,
and
yeah.
Never Tell Me the Odds
Yeah.
and Scruffy Looking Nerf Herder, like, this is iconic
Yeah.
in the lexicon. So, honestly, am I glad that I had to wait a longer period of time? Ultimately, yes, because we have
Hmm.
one of the biggest and best shows in Star Wars. And I know a
Yeah.
lot of people were complaining that the ratings were down and nobody was watching it, but honestly, the amount of people that have gone back and rewatched Andor or watched it for the first time since, like, I've seen an uptick of it in the people that I know that have finally sat down
Yeah.
and just like, wow, I should have watched this sooner. I was like, oh yeah, stress out week to week, just like we were, you know?
It's highly rewatchable.
Yeah.
Those espionage thrillers, especially once you know certain things too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Spencer's talking about how One Way Out sort of took over in London. It's true. I mean, people were chanting it on the dance floor when we were at the big event at the O2,
Mhm.
where all the acts were performing. People were like lost their mind on the dance floor and like screaming One Way Out. It was became like this like rallying cry, like the big run of like the Kino Loys up the stairs at Celebration, which by the way, like this is very much a celebration group, right? That's how this whole channel started.
Yep.
We're 60,000 members strong, that are on Facebook connected for going to live events, for going to conventions. Celebration London was unexpectedly good. I was worried
Yeah.
about what it was going to be like. I went on very little notice. I was working the show, so I missed out on a lot of the like going to panels and things like that. But my husband got to come with me, and we did have a lot of like social time after hours, and that was
Yeah.
great connecting with everyone. And we still had a good time walking around the show. I loved it. I always waffle back and forth of like, if I wasn't working, would I attend an event of that size and scale? They're handled so much better than they were 10 years ago in terms of
Right.
logistics. I would say yes. Like it's a very well-oiled machine in terms of the show
Virt
itself.
Yeah, virtual queues, lottery
Yep.
systems, no overnight campouts and, bars
Hmm.
dropping in the middle of the venue hall and, it's just so much better. And I know a lot of first timers were upset about it, but you know what? It
Yeah.
compared to how it was, you still got the
Yeah.
better end of things.
And to Spencer's point, like you have a crew to hang out with. Like we're all
Yeah.
going to see each other. Like the point of these shows is if you want to meet celebrities, you can. If you want to buy product, you can. If you want to go to panels, you can. But usually the second piece to all of that is to do that with people, like-minded people, find friends, meet new people. This is how we all met each other. I always tell people, I remind people that Spencer and I first met each other at New York Comic Con. So it's still a con thing. I met
Yeah.
Frank through the fandom from me being a
That's where you met me
licensee.
too.
Yep, exactly. So that's that same show too at New York Comic Con.
The very same year?
I think it was the same one. It might have been 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Wow.
I'd have to double check my notes, but amazing, right? Like
Yeah.
that's where I've met a lot of good friends in the fandom, and and London is also where it spawned my remembering of the Cyndi Lauper quote that I kept telling everyone, especially the more vodka I drank. I was like, Cyndi Lauper's a genius. She said this thing, and then I would say it wrong every time because I was drinking. Um, and so let me see if I could do it right this time.
Oh,
It's
yeah, it was 2018, I'm sorry, because that's when I got my first
was it
set, so
2018?
yeah.
Yeah. See, I can't even keep track. So what is it? It's the friends who became no. So friends who became family, family who, damn it. Um,
Fans who became friends.
fans who became friends, friends who became family, family who became fans. And it's this like circle of how they all know each other. And her being like a famous person, right? That makes sense. But us
Right,
all in the fandom knowing each other, and we're all fans of each other because, like I said, how many people don't have a podcast or at least watching each other? Like we're all cheering each other on in our
totally.
various endeavors, whether you're a creator, an artist, you have a podcast, you're working in the space, like there's a million things. We're all like fans of each other, and now we're friends, and now we're family, right? And
Yep,
we're doing it all. It's a wheel. It's not a linear path. And of course I love that
it's the
quote, and I
whole
never say
in
it
the
right.
circle. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you do, it's just, it's a lot of Fs.
Yeah, it's a little too much. It's easier to see it on print. Um, but yeah, it was it 28? Yeah, Spencer saying 2018 also.
Yep.
So yeah, it must have been the same show.
Yeah, because it was
Um,
I had my first art print, and I just spent most of the year doing sketch card samples and trying to make it good enough to go up to the Topps booth, and my it's like poetry. It rhymes. Yeah.
It's like poetry. I hate it. Um, that's gonna be my other thing that people are gonna remember me for. I think I hate literature. My husband has a master's degree in literature, you guys. Like I couldn't hate it if I wanted to. When we were in London, he actually took one of the days to go to the Globe Theater and see Shakespeare. So which is that's like a bucket list kind of thing. And I was like, what the
Seriously.
hell? I'm at the damn booth. So I was I was like a little bit mad. But in like the
Right.
best way, right? So
Yeah. Oh,
um
totally.
so what a year, right? So
Yeah.
San Diego Comic Con with two celebrations. Celebration 2022, Anaheim, kind of the kickoff. Celebration London, San Diego Comic Con, New York Comic Con, Rhode Island Comic Con. And girls, we're gonna do it again. We're going
Yes.
right back around. There won't be a celebration in 2024, but there will be a family vacation, which some details have been already released. More information is coming, and obviously, Celebration 2025 is in Japan, which that could be really interesting. But
Yeah.
between now and then, one of my goals and of course, over at Bunta Eve happen. When I say celebration, like I'm talking about all events, Bunta, everything else. Um, I
It
one
counts.
of one of the reasons that this group is so important is that it's about connecting in person, as Scooby is saying, like friends or family. Uh, this group was started as a celebration group. We want to do more live events. And as part of my programming directing role, I'm certainly not going to be planning and organizing live events, but I'm going to be looking for people to help plan and organize live events. The next signature event or not the next, but the big signature event will be the Rhode Island Comic Con meetup that'll inevitably happen at the Dave and Buster's that Friday or Saturday night, probably the Saturday night.
Yeah.
But we're going to do something at San Diego Comic Con. And since I'm going to be there, I will be one of the point people if you are interested in helping planning a meetup at San Diego Comic Con, which, by the way, I know is a pain in the ass because it's San Diego and they're not staffed to do anything. The city contains 20,000 residents and 500,000 people visiting. It's unbelievable
Oh,
that this
yeah.
event is allowed to continue to remain in this city. That is unable to handle the influx of people year after year after year. Mind
Right.
blowing. Um, so that being said, we are going to make the best of this meetup and have a great time and all hang out together.
Yeah.
I'm determined to enjoy myself, as per Clue. So we will make that happen. But there will be other live events happening soon, and that's something I would actually need some help with. So if anyone is interested in doing anything live event wise, please let me know. I'm seeing a note from here from Spencer that Matt Freds, one of our group members, is running an event at the Superheroes Con at the Alamo. So if anyone is going to be at that show, make sure you reach out to him. We're going to start putting like things on the page. You may
Oh,
have even
yeah.
noticed like the shows now have like an event and a start time. Uh, I think largely because of StreamYard. So we're able
Yeah.
to set those up.
We're able to
So
do
more of that's
magical
coming.
things with StreamYard lately. I love it. So it's
We
makes everything
usually have an event page for meetups like that, and there is actually
Perfect.
one on the page for the a few of the upcoming cons. So take a look
Excellent.
and Go wherever's nearby.
We'll
Yeah.
put a link in the chat to a bunch of the events. Yes, Skip and Dave are both saying GalaxyCon and
Yeah.
Raleigh. Um, so those are coming. Yeah, these are the types of things where they could be small scale celebrations. That ICCC event had a trading component with everyone bringing swag. That must have been amazing. So I'm
And
so
not
sad
only
I missed
that,
it.
you had one of the lightsaber makers, making a very limited edition. I think there were only 50 of them made of Kanan Jarrus's lightsaber, and the
Yeah,
plaque was signed by Freddie Prinze Jr. Like, Freddie couldn't go to the
amazing.
con, but he still signed a bunch for everybody. And our girl Jamie, she was able to get one, so I cannot wait to see how that one looks once she gets it.
That's
Um,
awesome. I'm so happy for
yeah.
her.
Oh god, me too. The amount of stress that poor girl went through trying to get it. So,
I
um,
can't imagine.
yeah, so they do things like that, and, imagine what they can do for Rhode Island. Like,
Yeah,
this is a
we could
big deal.
We could own that show. I love Rhode
Totally.
Island. I've been almost every year. I think I missed the first one.
Yeah,
And then since year 2 I've been going because they're over 10 years now. Um, so
and I
let's
know
talk. Oh, go ahead.
oh, no, I know there'll be, several VCN members, including myself and Spencer and Frank and everybody, at Fan Expo Boston this August.
Yes.
Um, I will have a table in Artist Alley as soon as I get my number. I will let you guys know. Come by, say hi, get some amazing art, and on your way to go see Rosario up the aisle, and Hayden and Vivian, and it's going to be a great Star Wars centric show. And it's right around it's the weekend is a couple weekends before Ahsoka,
Yeah.
so get
It's gonna be a lot
your
of fun.
cast pieces started, and have fun.
And this is a good time if you know of a show coming up or if you're attending something, just email one of the moderators, send them a
Yeah,
message on Facebook and see if you can start an event page if you're interested in doing something, and we can get it added to the site. That's something I want to do as part of programming. Like when
yeah,
I think about programming on the network, there's content, but there's also all this live event meetup because that's really the purpose of all this, especially now that we're in like, I'm going to use air quotes post COVID. Um, Things are open. We're post
yeah.
emergency, I guess. Obviously, take whatever precautions needed. I think masking might be back this summer just due to some spikes, but I think we're largely open, I think, in terms of shows and everything.
Great.
Um, so, with that, we're coming up to the end of the hour. There are a couple small things I wanted to hit before we go because we have some business. Um, Summer of Snips, which is our countdown to Ahsoka, officially kicks off a week from today. So we have some really fun stuff going on leading up to that. First off, don't forget this Wednesday, the 7th, is Daughters of the Galaxy. And then Thursday, we've got the watch along for the Obi-Wan Kenobi panel.
Yeah.
And then there's an episode of the Unifying Force on Sunday. But the new Summer of Snips programming starts on Monday the 12th, which we're so excited about because Rebels Revisited gets to kick off the programming. We are going
Yes.
to watch the last 5 minutes of Fire Across the Galaxy, which we've already watched together as a family, but we're going to relive the Ahsoka Lives moment because it is the moment. And then we're going to jump right into season 2, episode 1, Siege of Lothal, part 1. And we're going to
Yeah.
watch just the first part. And that is Ahsoka really joining the crew with the rest of the Ghost and dealing with the return of Darth Vader. So that's going
Yeah.
to be wild.
Oh my gosh. And it's kicking off in the biggest way possible because, at the end of Clone Wars when she left, you didn't know where her story was going, where it was ending. And look how far we've come in all these years.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
the girl's
amazing.
got her own show and
Yeah,
she's doing big things. She's one of the most popular characters in Star Wars. And I am so excited for the Summer of Snips.
it's going to be
And
awesome. And we're
yeah.
going to have graphics coming up with like the specific episodes that we're watching over the next
Hmm.
12 weeks. But believe me, we have enough content on Rebels to keep you busy. So every Monday night, there will be Rebels episodes. The alternating Wednesdays, after we do Leia, we're going to jump into characters that are specific to Ahsoka. So you'll see us cover Hera and Sabine. There's a few others. I won't give everything
Mon
away. We'll save that for
Mothma.
the
Yeah.
girls. Um, and then, of course, ending with Ahsoka before we get to Ahsoka. Um, and then on Thursdays, the watch along, our first watch along on Thursday, what is that, the 15th, um, will be the Clone Wars movie, which I haven't seen in ages.
I
That's
haven't seen
really
it
the
all.
introduction to
So,
Ahsoka.
yeah. Oh,
So
I'm
that'll be
excited.
really fun. The
Yeah.
boys are going to have a blast with that one. I'm not giving them any notes. I'm just going to let them go. So that'll be a fun show for the three of them.
Right.
And then every week after that, we have a lot of Clone Wars. there are like 150-ish episodes of Clone Wars, and Ahsoka's in like half of them, which is less than I realized, but more than we have time for. So we
Right.
picked the best of the Ahsoka stuff that we think you'll need to know going into the Ahsoka TV show. Really, so Thursdays is going to be a lot of Clone Wars, Mando, Boba Fett, everything else. And then you'll be ready. We'll be ready to see
Yeah.
Rosario storm our screens and chase down Grand Admiral Thrawn. It'll be a good time.
I am so excited. Honestly, like every time I think about it, I'm like, I can't believe we're getting not only an Ahsoka show, but our rebels are coming back, and
Yeah, it's kind of
they're
incredible.
like if you had asked me this time last year, like uh, just blows my mind. I have no words.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun, especially as more and more information gets released throughout the summer.
David
You
is
know,
making fun of me because I've never seen the Clone Wars movie. You gotta
apparently you're not
understand.
alone in this. Apparently
Yeah.
Spencer hasn't either. So what the
So
hell, guys?
I started with I started with Rebels, and then I didn't go
That's
back
fair.
to watch Clone Wars until I think it was during COVID. I was just working and coming home, and I'm like, okay, well, I kind of want to start watching. I know, I'm sorry.
No
um,
gatekeeping. No gatekeeping. We're not bouncers. We're what was it? We're guests. What was the opposite of the bouncer thing? We're like
we're door
greeters.
people.
We're
We're
greeters. We're the
greeters.
Walmart greeters pulling you in.
Yes, we are the
Um,
door people. We hold it open and say, "Good afternoon, ma'am,"
exactly.
and things
Where
like
can we
that.
get you started?
Yes.
Um, but with that, I will tell you. Look, the Clone Wars movie isn't good. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Like,
Yeah.
it's not good. But I also think that the
It had to
introduction.
start somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was intentional that Ahsoka is like not liked during the movie and in the first season. It's kind of like, oh, she's really not it, right?
I
Um,
didn't mind her in the first season, to be honest with you. There were just yeah, but I don't know if
mm,
everybody says like she's universally like in this yeah,
well,
that's
I
really
it'll
what
just
be great to see her evolution, right? We're gonna
Mhm.
see where she
Yeah.
started, where she's headed. Yeah, so it's gonna be great.
I
Uh,
dislike other characters in that movie, namely Stinky. So there'll be a lot of talk about the baby Jabba, the little
oh
Hutt,
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
and it's basically 3 episodes tacked together.
Yeah.
Eh,
Look, the Hutts are interesting in the Clone Wars is the word I'll use. Um, I mean, they're weird.
Interesting choice for voice actors as well,
Yeah.
or voice actors take on it. I don't know. Anyways,
Ooh,
Yeah. Look,
interesting.
also the animation is going to look terrible to everyone because it's been 15 years and animation has progressed so much. And Clone Wars season 7 is going to be an everyone's like most recent comparison. So then
Right.
Clone Wars season 1 is going to look like
yeah,
garbage, even though
Oh
it was
literally
yeah.
night and
groundbreaking at
day.
the time.
So
Yeah.
it's like
So
Toy Story 1 to Toy Story 4.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
So here's the thing, everyone be kind.
evolution.
Know that we have progressed away from where we are, both in terms of quality of animation and in terms of the way we feel about the character. But let's see how it started, and we
Right.
will make our way through season one. We're gonna watch the Mortis arc.
Oh, I love that.
We're gonna watch The Wrong Jedi with the bombing of the temple and my Barasafi. Like I've curated a collection for you guys over the next 12 weeks with Clone Wars. Like it's not to be beat. Even the
Mark
season
is
one and season two
business.
stuff is great. So it's gonna
Business.
be yeah. This was programming. Problem number two. One, what are we doing at a high level, and then two, I'm like building the Thursday watch along list. It took a while because I really wanted us to cover like of the 70 episodes, like 60 of them, and I was like, this is crazy. Like I need to pull back. So we're watching I think like 30 over the course of like the several weeks. So it's
Yeah.
manageable, guys. Yeah.
Totally manageable, totally exciting, and, honestly, I am so glad that we've been here for the past year with you guys and just be able to grow and to do all this stuff, and look what we're getting ready for, like, this is amazing. So,
Yeah.
um, we've come a long way, kid.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I just
Yeah.
wanted to say personally thank you to everyone in the fandom. Everyone is tuning in every week. Thank you for the congratulations, Jeff,
Thank you,
and to
Jeff.
in particular Jeff
Rest in
and
peace, kid.
Dave, the unsung heroes of the VCN network. They do so much work behind the scenes. You guys, you have no idea. If you see them at a convention, just go give them a hug,
Yeah.
whether they consent or not. As a thank you for for everything. Jeff and Dave keeping everything running, and Spencer who keeps the whole channel moving.
Yeah,
So this has
and
been a lot
Scooby,
of
who
fun.
works on our social
Dude,
media
yeah.
tirelessly, love him, he's great.
Bryce,
Like,
and
Bryce,
Joanna, like the number of people who
yeah,
keep the channel running is surprisingly large, and at the same time, we still need help. So
yeah,
if you are interested in any way contributing to the channel, you don't have to host a show. You don't
yeah,
even have to guest host a show. But if you want to help make graphics, if you want to help Twitter or Facebook or anything like that, if you have a skill that we can put to use, if you want to
free
plan an
hugs.
event, if you want to go hug Dave, send us a message. Email any of the moderators, send us a message. We'd happily put you to work, especially this summer during our summer of snips, which is going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, it's really I am so excited, and that graphic with Ahsoka and the shades and the fire behind her, like,
It's
yeah,
going to be great.
that's me in the summertime, lobster red with the shades on with a fire burning behind me. So
We are ready. Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
ready.
Send an email to virtualcantinanetwork at Gmail with your show ideas or your
Join
special skills,
us.
ways in which you can help. We're always looking for unpaid interns to help us with things. And with that, I know we're nearing the end. I do want to um, uh, uh, remind everyone we're going to pick a winner for the T-shirt. So we'll do it after the show, and we'll pick a name at random from anyone who commented in the chat. We're going to pick someone randomly, and then we'll contact you and get your information. Like I said, mother's maiden name, social security number, all that good stuff.
Yeah, since we can
We're
see
kidding.
who actually commented from
Yeah,
both platforms in StreamYard, we have a nice selection of people to choose from. So that's
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah, we'll just get your name and your address, and you'll pick from our VCN collection. It doesn't have to be a Rebels Revisited shirt, by the way. We
right.
want to give away a VCN shirt, and so we just need to know what shirt you want and your size, and then your address. So, thank you for celebrating a year with us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, oh my god, you guys, it's been so much fun, and like I said, never in my wildest dreams I believed that we would be here even doing a show, never mind a year later, having so much crazy content, and we're just really honored. Oh, thanks, Catherine. Thank you, thank you. I never thought that we would be here doing this and just creating these amazing things for you and helping, get the word about Rebels out there. And look how much Lucasfilm loves us and they're giving back to us with all this
Wow, it's
great
been great.
content. But yeah, I'm just so glad to be a part of this and to have you and Jeff and the whole VCN crew and the fans, everybody. Thank you, Sarah. Mm, yeah, it's just so great. And I can't wait to see what year two is going to bring.
Thank you, Sherry, and
Thank you,
Sarah and Jen.
Sherry.
Everyone is commenting. We really appreciate it. This has been such a
Yes.
wonderful year for the two of us. Um,
Big
yeah,
things. Big
yeah.
things, kids.
Let us know. Also, send us a message. Let us know what you want us to do in year two.
Yeah.
We have so many random, stupid, crazy ideas. Oh, Jason's texting me. He's like, "What about me?" Oh, by the way, I use my husband's laptop every night for the or whenever I
Yes.
come into the computer room. So thank you, Jason, for giving me his
Thank
laptop.
you,
Jeff will tell
Jason.
you that Jason Duggar used to log into Zoom every time, not Mark Arnold.
Thank you, Chris. Oh, so great to see you.
um,
Yeah,
Also,
it's
I
been
made Jason work at Star Wars Celebration, so he was like my like helper monkey for a whole day.
aw.
And I think I bought him dinner. It was like not a fair trade whatsoever. So yeah. And
Yeah,
thank you,
but
honey. Yeah.
yes, he's so awesome, and it was so fun to get to run around Rhode Island with you guys.
That was a blast. Yeah,
That
you
was
got to
so
be
much
with
fun.
me and my husband at a convention because I'm running around like a lunatic and he's my essentially a personal assistant. And that's always a good time. And he loves doing it because he keeps me
Oh,
on
yeah.
task. So he's the taskmaster.
Love it.
But you guys, this has been an amazing year. It's been a great show. We are over time, and I promised everyone I was like we're going to end
Always.
on time, and we know that's a lie.
There's too many
Um,
feels, too
but
many
yeah,
feels.
I feel the love. I appreciate it. We're so looking forward to seeing you guys on Wednesday for Daughters of the Galaxy, and next
Yes.
week for the start of Summer of Snips.
Yes, so make sure you join us and keep an eye on the VCN here in the Facebook group, on YouTube, on Instagram, Twitter. We're everywhere, you guys. Right here, you can see everything. And, you know, we'll be keeping you up to date with what's to come.
Yep. All right. Well, we're gonna sign off for tonight, but thank you again for a fantastic first year. We'll see you
Yeah.
in year two next week, and may the force be with you.
Bye, guys.